welcome back. Before we go any further, we just want to address our good friend Andrew. Is not podcasting today. This is coming from his jaw, and his teeth are really killing him, and he needs to have a crown and a replacement on one of his teeth as well. We'll link down at the bottom of the doodly-doo.
You can also go to bit.ly/Drackteeth, which it should be on the screen here if I remember to do so.
Yeah, and he's just in a lot of pain. If you could help him out, that would just be phenomenal.
Any help helps.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep.
But going on, we're going to be talking about some little bit... Well, obviously we're talking about unknown, but even more unknown stuff that had great potential but didn't necessarily live up to it. Mm-hmm. You had quite a few different ones that you were listing on there.
What I was actually listing was the ones that were, did they fail or did they succeed type movies, where it's like, great arguments can be made for either, and eventually I'll even be able to pull it up on my screen.
That's why there's a lot of cult followings for these movies,
yeah.
And why they didn't quite necessarily receive all the attention that
like,
they may have deserved or not.
Like District 9 is a great example. Some people think that is a fantastic movie. Some people just don't get it. I really love the documentary style of filming. I think it was done incredibly well for its budget. Because its budget was like 30 mil.
Yeah, it looked good, but they abandoned the whole documentary pretense about halfway through the movie, I felt, and then it was just...
It was a little bit jarring, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like stick with it or don't stick with it, because District 9 didn't have to have that. It was still going to be a really good sci-fi movie about apartheid, even if you just shot it professionally.
I felt like that's what differentiated it between some of the other movies.
Well, I
think there were some rewrites in the script that caused it to go in that direction, but it was so fascinating to see it from.
Well, I also feel like the documentary style and the frankly completely excessive shaky cam was an attempt to hide some of the crimes that they had to accrue working on such a low budget. You know, because if you don't have a particularly well thought out action scene, you just shake the camera a lot. You know.
Well, and it kind of fed into the documentary because it's sort of like found footage type of feel to the movie.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of found footage, one we haven't talked about here, we have some other ones that are listed. One of the few great found footage movies is Chronicle
of Narnia.
Chronicle of Narnia. Can you imagine a found footage Chronicle of Narnia movie? Oh, that would have been even worse horrible.
Than the full movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. That has the potential to leave around. How can you take the Chronicle of Narnia
movies and make them worse? Oh, found footage. Okay, but yeah, Chronicle with Michael B. Jordan, Dane DeHaan, and this completely unknown guy in it, directed by... Oh, the guy who went on to do the Fantastic Four. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
Which one? There's been like 7.
The recent one.
The Trank?
Yeah, Josh Trank. Josh Trank directed this. And normally with found footage, it's such a gimmick. But here it actually worked because these people are developing telekinetic abilities. And actually, as the film progresses, it becomes less and less shaky as they start using their telekinetic abilities to use their cameras floating around as they're flying. And it's a really dark movie at its core, but it's also more realistic and fun take on the superhero genre, in that at the beginning the guys use their superpowers like as any normal teenage kid would do to like prank people. And it's like, this is fun, this is super fun, but like, no, this can, like, if we don't use this correctly, these powers could kill people and do really horrific damage.
Something great power, something great responsibility.
I can't remember. Whatever, just gloss over it.
Who would say something like that? That's ridiculous.
It sounds really, really
Anybody
gimmicky.
that would say that would just die.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that's never happened.
They probably would deserve to die, too, for saying that.
If I ever see it happen in a movie again, I'm going to kill him myself.
Yeah. What were some of like the other ones that were? Oh, I think like District 9. I kind of think of like Ex Machina as like a film that has some really great ideas in it and phenomenal acting. Recent film this year with Oscar Isaac and Dom Gleason, also in Star Wars.
Both of them, right?
What?
Both of them, right?
Yeah, both of them are in Star Wars. We haven't seen Domhnall Gleeson in any of the coverage, so it'll be interesting to see what his role is.
There's been some pictures released with him.
Okay. Possibly a Skywalker. That'd be interesting, and maybe a bigger role in later films.
Mm-hmm.
He does look like a Skywalker. But yeah, Ex Machina is a very fascinating film directed by Alex Garland, who had his hands sort of in the lo-fi sci-fi with 28 Days Later, and before that, Sunshine. And it's a visually stunning film, brilliantly acted, great ideas, but in the end it doesn't really work, and it's sort of gratuitously slow pace.
Yes, that's the one thing that bothered me about the movie is it is very slow.
Yeah, which you can go for a slow burn pace if there's like a really awesome finale, but it didn't quite have that finale.
A slow burn leading to an awesome finale is just like, wow, this has been worth it. A slow burn leading to just
fizzle.
Oh, that's what we were waiting for. Okay. Well.
Yeah. I mean, there's quite others. Is there any ones that, Steven, that you can think of that?
Off the top of my head, sci-fi movies that had a lot of great ideas, didn't execute, and I know I'm going to make two people in this room angry. The Matrix.
Okay, well,
I think we discussed it.
We have discussed it.
How that movie has surprisingly huge holes in it. How it does really kind of feel a bit unfinished in parts.
Yeah, well, it feels like it was rushed.
It does.
Yeah. And the second two are even worse, man. To take one story and expand it over two movies and still feel rushed.
Yeah,
it's
right.
surprising. I mean, I know they wanted to make a philosophical treatise, which is fine and dandy. I love philosophical movies, but to take that idea and then wrap it around a cliche action movie, it's like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? It is a shame because they did so much better in Cloud Atlas, and then they immediately fucked it up.
Cloud Atlas.
What? How did you hate Cloud Atlas?
I was so excited for Cloud Atlas coming in. Okay, so there's bits and pieces of Cloud Atlas that really work, but as a cohesive whole, none of the stories connect. There's like loose tidbits, but none of them. They should have been released a miniseries and had multiple different events of it happening. But as a full movie, that isn't a full movie. It's just 6 short films that have cameo different parts from the other stuff. There's great moments in it for sure.
I thought it was really good, but I think it's I think they're supposed to be reincarnated, each of those characters, or reincarnations of the previous.
Yeah.
That's what I took away from it anyway. I thought it was really good on the way to that alone because we didn't have to hang around. It wasn't like $20 where we followed the life of a $20 bill, or in this case a song. It was each of the people interacting with the song, and we didn't find out their connection until near the end of the movie.
Yeah, it just was too disjunctive though at the beginning. Towards the end, it started to flow a little better, and at the beginning, it flowed really well. But the middle sequences just goes here, because they just had to get to every story arc, but they didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, have you seen Sense8 yet?
I got through the first episode. I'm like, I just can't get through this.
The first 3 episodes are a little slow because they have to do a lot of world building, but it goes. Mm-hmm. It goes after the 3rd episode. It's really good. I sat down and watched the entire thing in a day. Mm. Finish Sense8 and then watch Cloud Atlas again, and it'll make more sense.
I've watched Cloud Atlas twice. I like the movie, but there's parts of it that I absolutely hate, and like this could have been so much better.
Well, sure, of course. It's a Wachowski production. They're always going to have something that they could have done better. Yeah. But I feel like as they progress and get further and further away from Jupiter Ascending, they will get better.
Hopefully. I think they just need to be script writers and then have someone that can control their ideas a little bit better. Because like with V for Vendetta, I would argue is their greatest achievement, and they didn't even direct that. They just they adapted Alan Moore's brilliant graphic novel, but they made it in a way that's digestible in a 2-hour frame.
That's true. They didn't adapt it very well, but given the conversion from comic book to movie, they did all right.
Yeah.
I immediately started thinking about Wanted. That's I don't need to get into that right now.
Oh, Wanted with Angelina Jolie.
With Angelina Jolie and James McAvoy.
Which is interesting because Mark Millar wrote the movie for that, and he says his influence is actually Frank Miller and Alan Moore.
Of course. And they influence everybody who wants to write comics.
Yeah. Well, Mark Millar's Well, he's really big now. Yeah.
Oh, he was going to be big when Kick-Ass hit. Of course he's going to be big.
Yeah. Well, in Civil War, he's probably going to even be bigger because everyone's going to be start reading the Civil War.
Every time I think about Kick-Ass, I think about how terrible Kick-Ass 2 is. God.
Oh, Kick-Ass 2 is such a disappointment.
I have not seen it yet.
Don't.
Don't.
It
really?
ruins the first movie.
It does.
It takes everything about the first movie and ruins it.
That's a shame. I was really eager because I
Okay,
didn't know Jim Carrey was in it until
Jim
after
Carrey
the
actually
trailer
was
over.
decent in it.
Jim Carrey was the only good part about it. I'll go that far. Jim Carrey was fantastic in it.
And I think like the first 5-10 minutes of the movie are decent, and then it's just why
All of the scenes with Carrey in it are great. The plot is terrible.
that's so
the
bad.
acting is terrible. The recurring characters are terrible. The fact that they try to take all the character growth from the first movie and immediately throw it in the trash so they can
I
have
know.
the same character
that is a
growth
bummer.
again.
That is such a huge bummer.
It's just like, imagine if Empire Strikes Back started with Luke on a farm again. It's like that.
I don't say that too loud. Lucas will make it happen.
Well, good thing Lucas isn't in control anymore.
Yeah,
Doesn't
right.
matter. Lucas will do it. He will invent time travel just to be like, can I ruin these more? I'm George Lucas. F*** all of you.
My personal theory is that they didn't so much spend $4 billion to buy Star Wars as they did spend $4 billion to keep George Lucas from making another movie. Because that alone is an investment that pays off.
Oh, yeah. I won't stop him. He'll make another god-awful movie.
Also, the fact that he goes, oh, hey, here's all my ideas for episode 7. And they're like, no, thanks.
Well, George
We'll
Lucas,
start on our own.
To his defense, he's really good at some things.
He's
Like,
really
even
good
like the prequels, which story-wise and acting-wise and script-wise don't hold up.
You've basically
they're-
just described the whole movie.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the story, the acting, and the script,
There
it'd
should
be
have
an
been more
okay
practical effects in
sci-fi.
the prequels for sure, but in terms of like visually stunning and getting an aesthetic that is way above its time, and getting like a general concept that could have been brilliant. George Lucas is really good at concepts, but then executing them, he's
George
pretty
Lucas
terrible.
is really good at taking the Campbellian monomyth and making it into a trilogy of movies. That's about it.
Sure, that's
Yeah.
a useful skill to have.
It is.
The problem with Lucas is other people have to watch the movie.
Yes.
He can make movies for himself
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem with Lucas is he needs someone to push back against it.
So he needs everyone to push back
Yeah.
against him.
The best, I think I've said this in like 2 podcasts in a row, but the best
Who
Lucas
could
is
even
when
push
he's
back
being
against
pushed.
Lucas though?
Well, that's the thing. That's why the prequel sucked. But in the first
Maybe
movie, he was
Spielberg,
being...
but even Spielberg will give in.
Well, yeah, the first movie he was being pushed really hard by the studio. The second movie, he wasn't even the director. He wasn't even the screenwriter. He was just kind of there.
Well, it was his story though. It was his story, and he was
Yeah.
in production.
Sure.
Yeah.
But as long as you don't let him write dialogue, he's okay.
Well, it's like, honestly, with every director, every creator, they work best with opposition. Take, for example, M. Night Shyamalan. We go back to Unbreakable and
Oh,
Sixth
yes!
Sense.
We should talk about Unbreakable. Yeah.
Unbreakable is a really good movie.
It gets better every time you see it,
Yeah,
too.
it's wildly underrated, and I feel like people hate on it because of his later works, which, seeing his later works does bring down the quality of his entire catalog. But I've heard The Visit is pretty good.
I haven't seen
The
it.
Visit is better than... Oh, no, that's the recent one. I haven't seen The Visit. I was thinking of something else.
I haven't seen it yet.
I was thinking The Village. Yeah.
The Village.
Also two,
Oh, The
yeah.
Village.
Also 2 syllables and starts with a V and an I. Yeah.
Oh, that movie's a nightmare. Oh, I don't want to think about that. But Unbreakable is really good. It
The
starts
Village was
with-
good for like the first like half an hour, and then it kind of divulges into like this subplot that doesn't really work. But
It was good until the twist.
yeah,
As long as the monster is real in that movie, spoilers.
yeah.
Spoilers, it's a lie. As long as the monster is real, that's a great movie.
Like the tone is good and the acting's really good.
Mm-hmm. As soon as the twist, like, oh, they're in a national park and they don't know it, like, that would... No, I don't accept that anymore, movie.
It breaks the suspension of disbelief.
Exactly. Exactly. As soon as you present me with something absurd that could not happen, I'm like, well, you tried, but you can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
You can't do that with every movie. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. You'll see it come in and it doesn't always work.
Yeah. Now, if there had been hints that things were fake, I might have bought into it, but they presented the first 2 acts of very real stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, we're trapped in this
You
village?
gotta throw little nuggets into your audience's lap, yeah.
It's never good, like, when there's a mystery. It's never good to have it be a complete surprise to the audience. You want the audience to figure it out, like, a half second before they reveal it.
Or
you want the audience to be able to go, oh, this is going to, and then have it happen.
Yeah, it's sort of an interesting balance, because, like, a film like Predestination, where there's, like, 8 plot twists, you see, like, 4 or 5 of them coming. They, like, reference it way too heavy, and so you're like, oh, okay. And which doesn't give faith in the audience part to be able to figure it out. At the same time, you don't give any of that, none of the plot twists work.
Yep.
And none of it's warranted.
It's not so much a plot twist as it is somebody else wrote the second half of the script.
Yeah.
It's a random idea, and that's sort of the problem. If something comes out of left field, you've tilted your entire platform and dumped everything off of it. But if you seed it at the beginning, I don't necessarily like to figure things out until they hit.
Yeah.
What I like is to go, wait, where did that... Oh, they were telegraphing it the whole time. I just didn't notice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to be able to think back and go, oh, shit, I should have seen this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, or at the very... Or, like, my personal favorites. The one... I can't think of an example off the top of my head. That's not a book. But my favorites are where it's just like, as they're getting into the reveal, you're like, oh, shit, this is going to be... And then it is. Like, that pacing. It has to be either right as you're about to see it. Like, they're throwing a little bit more foreshadowing on it, and you're like, oh, shit. And then the character goes, oh, shit, at the same time. Those are the best moments.
Oh, yeah, those are great. Those are fantastic.
I mean, I guess there's a couple of those in Sherlock.
Oh, yeah.
The BBC series?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it all the way through.
Sherlock is really intelligently written. Stephen Moffat at his best. When he actually gets time to actually sit down and
Moffat.
really work on something.
I might have made this point before. Stephen Moffat is like George Lucas. He needs somebody pushing back against him.
Yeah.
Moffat with Gaddis, incredible. Moffat and Moffat?
Yeah.
Moffat
well, even with Moffat, he's like good and he has like a ton of brilliant ideas, but he has like 50 brilliant ideas and like we only need 2. We only need 2 of those.
Yeah.
And then she's trying to fit like 50 of them all into one, and it's like just so scatterbrained. Moffat would make a really good movie if he had someone like
Yeah.
Well,
let's be
we're
honest,
coming to the Sherlock movie is coming out this January.
Yeah, let's be honest. I mean, the Sherlock episodes are movies. Each of them, they're 90 minutes. That's a movie length. You know, it really is 6 movies. You know, sure, it seems like, 1 season of TV, but it's effectively 6 movies. They are paced like a movie.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, as they should.
Especially the last 3 episodes. I really, really enjoyed the most recent season.
Yeah. Well, it'll be 9 movies now because there's 3 seasons.
Yeah, I can't math.
Math is hard.
And then the 10th one's coming out is actually not even in the same universe.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's early 1900s.
There's a couple things in the previews that kind of like make me worry about it.
Who knows?
You can tell that one of the lights is electric, and it's just like he's holding a lantern and it's not flickering. You know.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do on a BBC budget. I mean, BBC's bigger.
Well, and it could
BBC's
also just
bigger,
be,
but not HBO.
It could also just be they hadn't finished editing the SFX in that.
Yeah, sure,
Like,
true enough.
Some of the cinematography, some of the things they do where they transition from a Steadicam to a crane shot, but it's actually a completely different camera, and they just had like a character walked in front of frame.
Oh, okay, so it's less jarring.
Yeah, and the only way that you can tell is there's a car down the street that moved to a different parking place, and then it's just like, oh, that was 2 shots, and you just don't even have any clue. That's the cinematography in that series is incredible. Yeah.
What are some like a couple of other ones that we haven't mentioned?
Contact.
I mean, Battle Royale is great. We have Hunger Games coming out, so that kind of harkens back to Suzanne Collins, a great writer, but she said she didn't know about Battle Royale. A Battle Royale is very similar to Hunger Games, except it's not really dystopian reality TV show. It's just kids on an island killing each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they explore 2 different aspects. The Hunger Games is all about us as people. It's a critique of us watching reality TV. Whereas Battle Royale is a critique of older people complaining about younger people.
Yeah.
Nice.
Quentin Tarantino loves that movie. It's his favorite movie of all time.
Well,
speaking of like Unbreakable, Unbreakable is also one of his. He says it's one of the top 20 movies of our century.
Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely is. I mean, I'm not going to say it's one of the greatest of the 20th century, but it's a fantastic movie. It's definitely like in top 20 in my mind.
Yeah, so good. With Battle Royale, it's so bloody. Tarantino definitely could have directed it. I think with Hunger Games, it's more of like a character-driven story. It's just Katniss and her story arc. We get 20 people's lives, and just this is chaos, and we get to see it unravel right before our eyes, and we get to see every single death.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, Battle Royale is more horror or thriller than anything else, whereas Hunger Games is more of a... I don't want to say think piece because it's not, but that's the closest I can come.
Yeah, it's a melding of a whole bunch of genres. That's why I think it's so popular.
Adapting from a book can tend to give any movie a think piece feel, just because normally people don't put a book's worth of thought into a screenplay.
Yeah.
But taking a book's worth of thought in a book and condensing it to a screenplay is really easy to have it feel more like a think piece, just by dint of it being Jurassic Park, as opposed to Jurassic Park 2.
Fair point.
Yeah. Even though...
The cops
have you read those books?
liking what you're saying right now.
Right. They're like, don't you
There's
talk
cops
about
in the
Jeff
background
Bezos.
right now we're hearing. Yeah.
Someone's maligning Sam Neill.
Yes.
You didn't like what you had to say about the Wachowskis.
The nerd police are here to take you away.
Oh, no, it's the Agent Smith guy. He's here. He's just mad. He's just mad about
There's like
things.
300 of them. Oh, God, we're in the third movie.
No! Why not the first? It was still good. It was still good.
That's why Andrew's not here right now. He's developing more versions of himself.
He's just like, yeah.
Being interrogated by Hugo Weaving in the back room.
Speaking of sci-fi movies that didn't live up to their promise that were adapted from books, Contact.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen that, but I remember being really let down by it.
And really bored.
So much build-up, and then, we're going to have a brief conversation, and then
womp.
fuck you for 60 years.
Yeah, right? Oh, and I mean, from Sagan, that's like the most potential you could cram into a movie, and then just,
Bleh.
bleh.
Oh, all that, and she got to talk to her dad again. Boop-a-doop-boop-a-doop-boop.
Yeah, there was so much potential with that
I feel like that
project.
movie would have been improved by...
Just the alien
Actually,
father,
this is a comedy.
Fuck.
It's been a comedy all along. There's the twist.
Well, and Robert Zemeckis, I love Robert Zemeckis, but that did not work. There's really brilliant ideas in that movie, but there's this build-up that doesn't pay off. It's similar with like Ex Machina. There's brilliant ideas and then fizzles out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not...
What about like animated, possibly? Like possibly like Cowboy Bebop or the Star Wars Volume 1, or even like Appleseed Ex Machina, which is a very good... Frozen? Well, there's sci-fi type.
Such science fiction in that movie.
And no one knows about it.
It's all computers, you guys. Did you know?
Okay, let's just let that topic go.
Reindeers are better than people.
I'm trying to think. There's one I saw recently, but I cannot remember what it is. I may have been a little intoxicated at the time.
It was definitely Frozen.
Probably.
It's a great joke movie.
Akira. Akira is a great movie. And that's one of the movies where the ending actually does pay off. And...
Wow. Hold on. You have to watch. You have to watch the subtitled version.
Okay, yeah. I watched it dubbed, and the dubbed was not as bad as some other things I've seen. It was decent, but there's moments where it's jarring, like ooh, this could be much better as a subtitle.
Hold
I
on,
should've watched it subtitled.
the ending, they changed a word that totally screwed me. We did a review of this on our show. You can go ahead and listen to that, and I'll make John put the link here or maybe here. In the dubbed version, the line of dialogue is, "It's the creation of the universe," referring to Akira coming back and doing what he does.
Oh, and you should have had more subtlety? Or?
No, in the subtitle, it's the creation of a universe.
Okay.
Whereas in the dubbed version, it implies that the universe is a cyclical thing, where this is the moment where this universe was created.
Oh, is it cycle? Okay.
Yeah, and thus is very confusing. In the subtitled version, they are saying, oh, another universe is being created for Tetsuo to go to.
Why can't it be both?
One sucks and the other doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked Akira. It's really beautifully animated.
Yeah.
Not all. It was like 1987, I believe, when it came out, and extraordinary what they were able to do with that movie.
Yeah, kind of the golden age of anime. About the 80s, early 90s was about the golden age. Now it's all kind of the same.
Yeah, it's a little too glossy. I think harkening back to the Flight movie by the Ghibli. How am I forgetting the Walt Disney of Japan? What's his name again?
I almost said Akira Kurosawa, and I'm like, nope, that's not right. That's not
That
right
was
for
last
a lot of
episode.
reasons.
Oh, well-produced break right here.
The Walt Disney of Japan.
Hayao Miyazaki.
There it is.
Miyazaki.
Project by Up
Miyazaki, what?
Yeah, Google.
Look up his one with Keaton, Michael Keaton.
Miyazaki created
Shut up!
Stop it! Oh, did you want a lecture? Here you go.
Allow me to read Wikipedia.
Miyazaki Keaton pig film.
Pig film?
Pig airplane.
You're not helping.
Pig airplane. Not pig.
Check out these pictures.
Paper airplane? Is it just called airplane? The Wind Rises?
No, Wind Rises was a decent movie, but it was not paced at all.
Porco Rosso?
Oh yeah, Porco Rosso.
Which means the Crimson Pig.
Oh. It's a pig piloting an airplane, and you say pig airplane to us.
Yeah.
I was visualizing like the nose was a propeller.
I had a pig jetliner in my head, just big and pink and
Yeah, I think that's actually my favorite Miyazaki film. I haven't seen enough of his stuff. I've probably seen like 4 or 5 of his movies, and he has this huge catalog of movies. But this is so beautifully animated, and the voice dubbing is just as good. Michael Keaton. This was before people really truly appreciated him, or like right in the in between period, right after Mr. Mom, and then before Birdman, where he was so close to winning the Academy Award.
That is such a wide gulf you've drawn there.
Yeah, right?
After Mr. Mom, before Birdman. So somewhere in that 15 to 20 years.
This was early 90s, I believe. And the voice acting is incredible in that. And it's short, 90 minutes, but that means it's paced well. With like The Wind Rises by Miyazaki is like 3 hours long, and there wasn't like a single edit where it should have been. Yeah. Porco Rosso, I'm not sure if it really is sci-fi, but it is like fantasy type.
Well, I mean, it involves a pig flying a plane. That's pretty sci-fi.
Yeah. Well, he's cursed, and he used to be this really handsome guy, and it's a little hammy.
Oh, God damn it. I could end the episode right there.
You could. But this is the visual. God,
It's a little hammy.
So in case you didn't catch it last week, we screwed up. We lost the outro to this one too. We hope you join us next week. We're going to be talking about Christmas movies. It's a pretty great discussion, and it's going to be in 4K just like this outro was before I cropped it down to 720p. Thanks. See you then. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah!